for humans, we tend to try to pair bond for life, right? So we find our one person, if you believe in a soulmate, all that good stuff. And then you just try to stick with it and hold on tight.
I have a question for you.
Hmm.
Do you think that humans could possibly have mating seasons? Is that hot girl summer? Is
I mean, it's like it's literally a whole season. We talk about cuffing season all the
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
right? We have ebbs and flows of our hormones and what we like and don't like in our partners. So it's definitely possible to have seasons, right? It all depends on what you're looking for.
It's probably the weather. Like if you're in a place where it's always warm and nice and stuff, it's always mating season. You know,
Yeah.
but then when the weather turns, you gotta like find somebody to lock it down with, so you can
Stay warm.
Exactly, so you can stay with them in the inside.
Right.
So my thing is, do you believe that pair bonding is realistic in today's society? Because things are forever changing, trends are forever changing, and I'm not saying abolish it, but do you? Because back then it was just like that was the way. Now, do you think like right now it's realistic?
I do, right? I feel like folks need to figure out what works best for themselves, right? What is good for their reality and how they want their life to be. So, if that means having this one partner and just building something with them and figuring out how that dynamic looks between them, that's it. If they want to date multiple people, maybe be in polyamorous relationships, then they can do that as well. And there's a thing called solo poly out there as well, where like they're in loving romantic relationships with folks, but nothing to where there may not be nesting with someone. They may not want to have like that full-fledged relationship with them, but they still love them and care for them and want to be with them.
what is that called? Solo poly?
Solo poly.
I never heard of
I,
that.
I think I've been solo poly majority of my life. I have a question, right?
I hope it goes into the next question. Yeah, I hope that goes into it.
Is it possible, or anything is possible, but is it realistic and maybe even often that pair bonding? So let's just say if I have a pair bonding with somebody at 20, then I have one at 22, then I have one at 23. By the time I'm 30, I'd have had 7 pair bondings. Do you think that we as people tend to take all of our pair bondings and then compare our last pair bondings to whatever is our new potential pair bonding because they held so much weight to us?
It definitely is possible, right? So,
Yeah.
We build and grow in relationships, right? We take information that we've learned from the previous one to go into our next one and hopefully have a better relationship
Yeah.
and let that be the last one. But shit happens. So you never know what it can develop into, like, because people do grow, people do shift, and like life happens. So you can't possibly determine or predict what that's going to look like for the next relationship.
You were like solo poly for a minute, that's considered adding bodies. And then you were talking about the multiple pair bondings and you would hope it should last. So that sounds like a lot of partners, from now until you settle down. So with all those partners, do you feel like it could be detrimental to the pair bonding and, you wanting something real? Because now you just been this person of just sex, or been pair bonding failed.
Pair
But,
bonding fail.
I mean, there's been some sex. So it's like,
failed relationships.
so that transition now to find something that's yours, how does that look?
When you go through relationships, it's important to do assessments, figure out, okay, what shit did you bring into this relationship and what shit are you taking out of this relationship?
I remember a long time ago. Shout out to Eight at the Table. We've been around since 2018, and I'm bringing something from over there, right? Hopefully we can find that and we can share that source for everybody. But they were saying, and don't quote me verbatim, if a man had about 30 or more partners, he was less likely to be able to settle down or be monogamous or faithful in a monogamous relationship. Could that also be what, not could, because we already know it could be and could not, right? But what I'm saying is that I feel like that is a big thing when it comes to pair bonding is when you do have so many different experiences, and if you deem them as bonds, right, rather than just experiences, it gets so hard because you start comparing everything that you had good, and no one person is ever going to be able to fulfill all of these different experiences that you've had in your life.
And that's where I say the healing has to come in, and you recognize, what happened in these relationships, what you brought to these relationships, like all of that, right? So if you are really doing the work to say, like, hey, I am great at this. I'm not really great at other things. And now in this new relationship, you're telling your new partner about that, right?
Yeah.
You're understanding who they are and not trying to compare them to previous relationships. So we as humans, when we have too many choices, we get stuck. We get that analysis paralysis, and we're like, shit, I don't know which way to go. But if we can find a way, right?
And you can't.
You can't always have it all. You have to learn about acceptance of yourself, acceptance of the partner that you're currently with, and not try to compare.
Yeah. It's hard, though. If you go to, let's say you go to Vegas, and then you go to Miami. You went there 1 year for 4th of July, then you went to the next 4th of July. You're like, well, which one was better? I think that it's like almost a natural thing for us to compare everything in our life, right? You can have this green blouse, it looks dope, and then you have another green blouse, and you're like, well, this green blouse slightly is better than that one. But you know what? Like, for whatever reason, you choose whatever you choose, and I think that we also do that with our partners.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, like, and I'm speaking solo, like, on my behalf, because I've caught myself doing that many times, because I'm like, yo, my ex would never. Are you out of your goddamn mind? You know what I'm saying? Like this don't exist here. You know what I mean? But granted, I had a pair bonding with both of these people in a different way, and I don't like the idea of pair bonding, like too many of them. I don't, because
you don't like it at all, or
I don't like too many of them. Like, I think everything needs to be limited, because when you have too many, it's like you just end up in no man's land. Not everybody, don't get me wrong, but a lot of people end up in no man's land because they don't take that time to reflect.
So essentially, you're saying that people shouldn't have too many romantic, committed relationships in their lifetime.
it should be more casual.
I wouldn't even say committed or casual. I would just say romantic
Well, you
relationships.
better say what you're really trying to say.
No, I'm saying
I already know what you're trying to say.
No, I'm saying you shouldn't be having a lot of romantic relationships, committed or casual, is what I'm saying. Because what ends up happening is you have too much of your life. You have too many experiences and then comparisons.
So then we just go to matchmaking, right?
Which I am actually a big fan of. I'm like, yo, matchmake them and them, go to love. Hopefully it works. They actually have a higher success
Let
rate.
your family and your friends put you together with some random person that you've never met in your entire life, and then go for it.
Yeah.
Some cultures still believe in that, and it
Yep.
works perfectly for them. So
I
is that
think
a societal thing that we should do?
It's a societal, or maybe
Not in America.
American?
Not in America, no.
Yeah.
Definitely not American.
We need it in America because that's part of our problem.
You know why I
that's
say
part of our
that?
problem.
Because suppose your soulmate is somebody you're not attracted to, though. I'm just saying, suppose the right person for you is someone that, isn't all that great looking in the face. Let's be clear. What do you do? Like, hey, granny, thanks. Like, did you wear your glasses that day? You brought her to me? You brought Mildred to me? Like,
Mildred.
No. Like, come
Shout out to
on.
Mildred.
Yeah. Give me a Sasha. Or
Yeah,
something.
but Sasha.
Like, come on now.
You have family and friends who really know you and can
you're
see
open
a
to it.
side of you that maybe you can't see. They
Yep.
might be able to pick a good partner
You
for
open
you.
to it?
Hell yeah, I'm
So
open to that.
I'm gonna catch her now. So what if your man, right, lived in Brooklyn? Because you talked about.
Here we go.
No, we go. I'm gonna tell you off camera. She said she would not go to Brooklyn. I'm not saying not never, but she don't want to go to Brooklyn. She
Yeah.
don't ever
like
want to be there.
Brooklyn.
So if your man happened to be in Brooklyn, what's up? Flatbush.
He gonna have to move to Jersey.
Wow. See?
She didn't say no.
I didn't say no. He's just gonna have to move to Jersey.
She already has her name. She's not the Flatbush sex specialist.
She's a New Jersey.
I'm a Jersey girl.
Has any of you have any of you ever experienced a couple that was I guess like arranged to some degree, match made, and what's your take on their relation? Like, do you find it being successful?
So I know like one of my good friends, she pretty much had an arranged marriage, and they're still together. They have 3 children. I ain't gonna lie, when she got married, we were kind of like, oh, where this Negro come from? You know, like because we had never heard of him. We didn't know anything about him. It wasn't anyone that she had been dating that we had known about or whatever. And then she up and just go to another country and come back married. Nigerian.
She come back married.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, was it playing over there?
Well, she actually had a white wedding here, so I was actually in the wedding. But like,
It's a white wedding?
so in their culture, you have like your traditional, and then you have your white wedding. White wedding is just like the formal wedding that we know. You know.
Oh, I thought because he was a white man. I said, damn,
No,
that's
no,
messed up.
no, he's Nigerian.
Because it's in America.
Yeah.
Like, sheesh.
They just call it a white wedding.
Where's the black one?
America.
And so, I mean, from the outside looking in, they appear to have a successful marriage. You know, they're still together. They've probably been married 10 years or close to 10 years or whatever. You know, they have a business to get. Well, they have jobs professionally, but they also have like a successful business together. Again, from the outside looking in, it looks like it works. You know,
Still never know, yeah.
but
So outside looking in.
yeah, I really don't know the dynamic of, you know, the inner workings of their relationship.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Because their relationship could be in the same position as mine or our other friend, or you know what I mean? So you just don't know. But I do believe this. I do believe that there is value in other people vetting the person that you, and somebody just said this, there's value in other people vetting who you decide to marry, because it's never just 2 individuals marrying. It's families marrying. It's cultures coming together. There's just a lot of things that we as individuals may not consider that are important and
Well, you
need
better
to be
hope
considered.
who's
You know,
doing the vetting process isn't biased. Just saying, because as much as you may, oh, my mom and dad got me, you never know what people, what side they show
we're
you.
biased. That's the thing. We're biased.
Yeah, there's bias coming from both sides of the spectrum.
Exactly.
Yeah,
If we're looking
And your
for
bias isn't
perfection.
working. Right?
Exactly.
Like, our bias isn't working, my bad.
No,
You
it's
guys would
right.
have your family vet the next person.
Yeah.
You would?
Yo, my mom would do a great job, but she's very thorough. Like,
Do you think that she would end up pairing you with the same person that you yourself would select?
that's a great question. Do I think so? I do. The reason that to some capacity, well, yeah, I don't need her help, but because I got it, you know what I'm saying? I did it, but what I'm gonna say is I do think so, because the morals that was instilled and the ethics that was instilled in me came from her.
Right.
So like, you couldn't be a woman that's not hardworking. That came from my mother. That I've learned that she taught me that. You know. So like, my girls and my girlfriends in my past, they were always hardworking to some degree. Whether they had 2 jobs and then one was at Foot Locker and one was at McDonald's and we was 20 years old, it did not matter. You know what I'm saying? That's just like some of the morals that she's instilled in me that I believe she would pick too. Could I be wrong? I could be wrong, because if we talking about what is, but I believe that that's what it would be.
But outside of hardworking, like, do you think she would be able to identify someone who was emotionally intelligent, someone who intelligent, who could stimulate you on that level? Do you think she would find someone with the aesthetic that you like, somebody with the attitude that you like, somebody with the money management skills that you like, somebody with the ability to listen that you like?
I think. Rico now,
well, me and my mom, see, that's the best thing. Me and my mom have been open since I was as young as when I was like 14 years old. I was telling my mom, like, yo, listen, You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my thing out here. You know what I'm
I
saying?
know you ain't go to your mama talking about, yo, listen. I'm
Yeah,
doing my
I
thing.
promise you. Me and
Not
my
the yo
that's
part,
the type
but
of
for the
relationship.
most part, for
Nah,
the
that's
most
the
part,
no,
my
that's
mom
the type
knows.
of relationship that I have with my mom. I talk to my mom just as if I talk to anybody else, but I have a different level of respect, of course. Like I'm that kid at 15 years old. I asked my mom, "When did you lose your virginity?" That's the type of
You
kid.
ask your mom what's her body count?
I never asked her that. I never asked that. And so this is the person who taught me how to be so transparent to get to what I got. And that's why, since as a young adult, I'm talking 20, 21 years old, I've had a lot of success in picking my spouses because of the things that she had already instilled in me. So I do believe she would pick somebody similar. You know, intellect is big in my household. Like, we do not play with you cannot be in this house if you are not smart. It doesn't work that way. Miss Batista does not play that. like, you feel me? My mom is an educator.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things. I think personally, yes, my mom would be able to pick a good person for me.
I, Oliver Luke, do not trust mom, grandma, sister, dad, friends to pick the one for me. Because you know why?
Nobody?
I'm going to tell you why. It's this simple. If that mother effer fails, I'm looking at all the users, the ops. I'm looking at all of you the ops because, and I mean, I'm not hoping you guys fail. I'm not hoping it. I mean,
But what if you failed them?
Right.
Well, then that's
Right.
okay. I look in the mirror and say, Oliver, you messed up.
Like, they done talked you up to this person,
Yeah.
told them
And
all
then you
about
turn
the
out to
good
be
things.
trash.
Cool.
Hot garbage.
That's cool.
Right, you know?
But she won't be able to complain to my family, right? Because she don't got the access.
You never know. They might start liking her more than they like you.
Well, my point
And
is,
you gotta go.
I couldn't do it because I just don't. Too many cooks in a pot spoil the food. That's just my opinion, and I don't want all these people to have that access. You know, like, hey, how are you guys doing? Remember the girl I set you at ease? Okay, good, thank you, we're good. Because then you're gonna feel you have this level of access or comfortability because you set this up, and I get it. You set it up and it's working or not working. You know, no, I just don't trust it. I don't want nobody to have any input. I've learned over time the less people know about your relationship, to me, the better, in my opinion. But am I
agree.
knocking anyone else? No, because it's not a definitive answer. But for me, nah, couldn't do it.
I agree with the second part of that. Like, a lot of things that go south is because you had too many inputs on your relationship.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I don't. So do you think, is that typically how it goes? Where, and again,
Yeah.
for arranged marriages, that there's so many like cooks in the.
Because think about it.
pot?
You trusted me, right? You trusted your family and friends to find this person, right? You were open to the process. When you're open to the process, it's like when you said you marry in the family, those are opinions are, especially if they actually had, that's like somebody saying, Rico, I'll put you on, right? Like, all right, cool, thanks.
Now you're talking about pride now. That's
no,
different.
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
but that you cannot
Nah.
think that it won't
That won't exist like that. I mean, I don't know.
I think it depends on the cultural stance too, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
most people will probably have just their immediate family helping them in terms of that matchmaking process. They may not have like auntie, uncle, and them and the cousins. It's not going to be
Depends.
everybody.
I mean,
It
depends.
does depend.
Mhm.
But like it's traditionally the parents or
Right.
whoever that, parental figure in your life was. If you have close siblings that you really value their judgment and their, attention to certain details. Like I think my sisters know me pretty well. I think they would be able to match me with somebody, right?
I want to hear this update.
Personally, like aesthetically, I don't think because I'm all over the place aesthetically, but like personality wise, yeah, I would definitely
Your soulmate
be
could
open
on
to
Flavor
it.
Flav. How was that? Whoa, what happened to your neck? Why your neck went that way? It went south. What happened to your neck? Why it went south? Wait.
I'm gonna have to
Wow, and you taking a shot? Wow. NJ, what happened? What's going
There's
on?
which ism do this fall up
This ain't
under?
no ism, right? You just said you've been all over the place, so why Flavor Flav can't be your soulmate? He'll relocate to Jersey.
I gotta look at you every day. I gotta make sure I can
Facts.
I feel
look.
like you probably live in Jersey right now. I'm just
You
saying.
do.
One of my friends who also is my business partner, who I've known since 2014. So we're almost approaching a decade. I've watched him be single. I watched his parents, they're Indian. I watched his parents and immediate people have the whole arranged marriage. I watched him arrange his wife's brother's marriage, and I saw how their dynamic was. Not saying that everybody is, but it's not like you only get one chance. Like
Yeah,
they
it's
they show you, and he's like, nah, I'm good.
Right.
Nah, I'm good. Okay, let's see this. And then there's actually like a good little vetting
Right.
process that goes throughout the arranged marriage matchmaking thing. So it's not like here is Flavor Flav. He's good for you. Stick
It's
with it.
not
Like-
married at first sight. where
Exactly.
You just show up to the
explained
altar.
it perfectly.
My bad.
Right.
All right. Still, Flavor Flav still might be.
They
your
giving
soulmate.
you a smorgasbord of options,
Yeah.
and you choose who you want to go out on a date with, and then if it clicks, you keep dating, and if
Well, I
it
hope
doesn't,
you
it
attract. Hope
doesn't.
they bring you 4 different versions of Flavor Flav. You gonna pick one.
Wait, y'all. So listen, I have an Indian friend. We actually used to work together, and we still stay in touch. And he was telling me about like his process every time we talk, like how things are going as far as like the arranged marriage. And one of his siblings was arranged, and everything worked out with them. And now it seems like the people that his parents are picking for him is like no.
Yep.
No, like nobody is meeting. I think they're meeting like the bare minimum standard that he has, but like the connection, the vibe, like the synergy, the look, it is not there. So
I feel sorry
he
for the
keeps
girl
passing.
that's being told no to her face though. Like that also
Damn.
hurts.
I mean,
Like
people get told no every day.
no, but just think about it, right? Like your parent brought this girl over and she talked you up, and then no, like damn, that girl, like damn, because the no is not told via text. It's not a kite. You gotta say, like so, it's like 10 no's.
No, it's not to the face. It's not to the face
So
like
how
that.
they gonna get told no?
Bro, WhatsApp.
Yeah.
See, that's why I don't want the arranged marriage. Somebody get hurt. I'm good. After you show up with a role,
You know how many no's you probably swiped on Tinder?
Right.
that's different.
That's the same exact thing.
but the whole-
And the yeses did what? You started texting.
Wait,
Then you
y'all.
linked up in Brooklyn.
So let's go. We're on a tangent. Let's go back to pair bonding.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a question, and this is actually to Rico, because I'm not gonna say I already.
You don't know anything,
No, that's what I'm
Aaron.
saying.
Stop.
Let
You're not
me-
a fortune
That's
teller.
why I said you're
Miss
right.
Cleo.
I'm not clairvoyant. So
Arrange answer.
So let me backtrack. A lot of times when this topic of pair bonding comes up, it's always slanted towards, oh well, women shouldn't have so many partners because it keeps them from being able to bond with a potential mate or blah 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 whatever. So I want to know, like, do you think that argument applies to like both sexes, and do you think that all these forays into relationships or whatever, that we're doing more harm than not by trying to having these unsuccessful relationships, you know what I mean, trying to find the one?
Aaron is my good dear friend, guys. Like even today, I brought my Apple Watch charger for her so she could charge her Apple Watch. But I've realized that sometimes she doesn't listen to when I speak. Because the stat that I gave earlier was about men having more than 30 partners. So I do think that it is both ways. And I'm telling you from a guy who's had a good amount of partners, you can compare. And it's like, damn, I don't want to be married to this because I know that was out of this world. You get different levels of 10s now. So before, if you only had 10 partners, your level of 10 could really be Rico's level of 5.
That's true.
But as you continue to process or progress throughout all of these pair bondings and sexual experiences, that level of 10 is now going higher and higher and higher. And it's usually with the ones that you're not going to want to keep. Right? So now the one that you want to keep is so far down on that sex pedestal for you, right? That it's like, damn, I'm kind of sacrificing. And I realized that everybody does not want to sacrifice in the beginning. And that's the part where I think is detrimental, and I do think it applies to both sexes.
Yeah, I would agree. I do feel like it's like a muscle, right? Anything you do repetitively, you're like, okay, you're expert at it. You're training for basketball, whatever. So if you train yourself, I'm not beautiful, or I'm having all these flings and whatever, and we was talking off camera, it will be a challenge to find that one because you've been so accustomed to a certain lifestyle. So because I struggle with that myself, like been just having casual sex, and the only thing for some people, they don't enjoy it. Thank God I enjoyed all of mine, because some people would have the casual sex and they'd be like, damn, why did I do this? They feel like they regret it. Most of the
I
time,
hate
never
that.
regret.
Yeah.
So
Like,
thank God,
ugh.
But yeah, it is something to detox yourself from if you're trying to be committed. But my I'm gonna throw this to you, and then Aaron, you could take after. It is hard to to stay. It's a challenge to stay away from the casual, because do you say, well, the only time I have sex when I'm in a relationship, and there are some people. What are people that don't subscribe to that?
Mhm.
And also I'm not an advocate for abstinence, and I'm not for it. That's whoever want to choose. But for those people, like, I guess, are in between, like, what about those people?
Right. It's really looking within to see, like, okay, am I willing to sacrifice the casual sex, the instant gratification
Facts.
of finding a partner just to fuck, right? Or am I willing to be like, okay, I'm gonna wait until I find somebody who is my equal, who is my partner, who I can really see a relationship with. Like, so you're kind of sometimes going through, okay, should I just focus on my physical needs while I'm trying to figure out the emotional stuff, or focus only on the emotional?